Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Before continuing, please review the legal disclaimer provided in the comment section of this video and make sure to see the video till the end to get a full understanding of how it all works. On this channel, we share practical guidance on visa processes, immigration pathways, investment and citizenship options, and related topics to help you make informed decisions. If you are unsure about your visa options or planning your next step, consider subscribing and enabling notifications so you stay updated with the latest developments. Chances are, if you live in New Zealand today, you could benefit from having what's called a back pocket residence permit. Not because New Zealand is collapsing, not because you necessarily want to leave tomorrow, but because the world is becoming increasingly uncertain. Tax rules change, governments change, economic conditions change, travel rules change. And increasingly, people are realizing that optionality itself has value. A back pocket residence permit is exactly that. A legal right to live in another country whenever you choose, without necessarily needing to move there immediately. You keep it quietly in the background. You continue living your life in New Zealand. But if one day you decide, I want lower taxes, I want international opportunities, I want my kids to study overseas, I want access to Europe or Asia, or simply, I want another option, that residency is already sitting there waiting for you. And honestly, for New Zealanders, this strategy makes even more sense than it does for many other nationalities. Because Kiwis already have one of the world's strongest passports. You're already internationally trusted. You already have relatively easy access to banking and migration systems globally, which means you're not starting from zero. You're simply adding strategic options to an already strong foundation. So today, let's talk about some of the best back pocket residency options, specifically from a New Zealand perspective. And importantly, these are not necessarily places you must permanently relocate to tomorrow. These are countries where you can create optionality. Let's start with one of the most popular for New Zealanders, Thailand. Thailand has become hugely attractive for Kiwis over the last decade. Why? Because compared to Auckland or Wellington, the cost of living can be dramatically lower, the lifestyle can feel easier, healthcare is often excellent and affordable, and for many New Zealanders, Thailand feels both exotic and comfortable at the same time. Now, Thailand's long-term residency system has evolved over the years into what's now called the Thailand Privilege Program. Essentially, you pay a membership fee and receive long-term residency access. For many New Zealanders, this is less about immediate migration and more about lifestyle insurance. Maybe you want future retirement flexibility, winter escapes, remote work options, or simply the ability to spend extended time in Southeast Asia without visa stress. And importantly, Thailand is increasingly tightening tourist visa usage. The old system of endlessly entering on tourist visas is becoming much harder, so having a legitimate long-term status there can be incredibly valuable. Now, another interesting Asian option for New Zealanders, Indonesia, especially Bali. And let's be honest, Bali has almost become a second home for many Australians and New Zealanders already. Digital workers, online business owners, creatives, retirees, investors, lifestyle entrepreneurs. Indonesia's evolving long-term visa and investment residency pathways are becoming increasingly attractive because they allow you to maintain legal long-term access without fully relocating. Again, this is optionality. You may never move permanently, but having the right to do so changes your flexibility enormously. Now let's move to Europe. And this is where many New Zealanders become very interested. Because unlike Americans, Kiwis don't have easy access to Europe through work rights. You can visit Europe, but living there long-term is completely different, which is why European residency permits can become incredibly strategic for New Zealanders. One of the standout options remains Greece. Greece still offers residency pathways linked to investment. And compared to some other European countries, Greece can offer relatively affordable entry into the European system. Now, why does this matter? Because once you legally reside in a Schengen country, you gain significantly greater flexibility across Europe. You can spend long periods there legally, you gain easier mobility. And over time, depending on the pathway, you may even work toward permanent residency or citizenship. For New Zealanders who dream about European summers, remote work from Europe, retirement in the Mediterranean, or giving children future EU opportunities, this can be extremely powerful. And honestly, many Kiwis underestimate how valuable European access may become over the next 10-20 years. Now, Portugal has also historically been one of the most attractive European residency options. Portugal became famous because it combined European access, high quality of life, good climate, strong infrastructure, and relatively reasonable residency requirements. Now the rules have changed repeatedly over the years and continue evolving, but Portugal still remains very attractive for globally minded New Zealanders seeking European optionality, tax planning, remote work flexibility, or eventual EU citizenship pathways. And here's something many New Zealanders don't fully think about. A second residency is not only about where you can live, it's also about where your future opportunities may exist. Maybe your children want to study in Europe one day. Maybe you want to start an international business. Maybe New Zealand property prices, taxation, or economic conditions become less favorable over time. Maybe you simply want diversification outside one single country. Because diversification isn't just for investments anymore. It's becoming increasingly important for lifestyles and legal rights too. Now let's talk about one of the most popular destinations globally for New Zealanders, the UAE, especially Dubai. Now Dubai is fascinating because many Kiwis already move there for tax-free salaries, international careers, business opportunities, aviation, finance, construction, hospitality, and entrepreneurship. And unlike many Western countries, the UAE still aggressively welcomes global talent and capital. There are now multiple long-term residency pathways available tied to investment, business ownership, property, or financial deposits. And from a New Zealand perspective, Dubai offers something very unique, a globally connected hub outside the Western tax-heavy system. Now, this is important. Simply holding UAE residency does not automatically affect your New Zealand taxes. Tax residency depends on where you actually live and maintain ties. So many people misunderstand this. Having a UAE residency permit while still living primarily in New Zealand usually changes nothing tax-wise. But if one day you decide, I want to relocate internationally, your residency pathway is already prepared. That's the entire point of a back pocket residency. Preparation before urgency. Now let's move closer to home. Latin America. And one country increasingly interesting for New Zealanders is Mexico. Mexico has become far more sophisticated than many people realize. Major cities now have excellent healthcare, strong international communities, modern infrastructure, growing business ecosystems, and significantly lower living costs than New Zealand. Mexico also offers relatively accessible residency pathways through income, savings, retirement income, or investment. And for many New Zealanders thinking long-term, Mexico can offer North American proximity, lifestyle diversification, and lower living costs without completely disconnecting from the Western world. Now, another extremely underrated option, Panama. Panama is quietly becoming one of the world's strongest Plan B jurisdictions. Why? Because it combines dollarized economy, international banking, territorial taxation, strong logistics, and relatively accessible residency programs. And from a New Zealand perspective, Panama offers something psychologically important: distance from geopolitical concentration. A lot of globally minded people now realize they don't want all their assets, residency rights, and future opportunities tied to one single region. And Panama becomes attractive precisely because it sits outside many of the pressures affecting North America, Europe, and parts of Asia. Now here's the key mindset shift New Zealanders should understand. A back pocket residency is not necessarily about escaping New Zealand. Most people pursuing these strategies still love New Zealand. It's about reducing dependence on a single system, because over the next 20 years, flexibility may become one of the most valuable assets a person can have. The ability to move, work, invest, retire, educate children, or restructure your life internationally without starting from zero during a crisis is enormously powerful. And the reality is, many residency programs become harder and more expensive over time. We've already seen this globally. Investment thresholds rise, rules tighten, governments become more selective. So people who secure optionality earlier often benefit most. Now, does everybody need 5 residencies and 4 passports? No. But for many New Zealanders, having one strategic overseas residency could make a lot of sense, especially if you run an online business, work remotely, have international investments, plan to retire overseas, want educational flexibility for children, or simply want more control over your future. Because increasingly, the people with the most freedom are not necessarily the richest people. They're the people with the most options. If you want future deep dive videos on the easiest countries for residency, second passports, global mobility, investment migration, tax-friendly countries, and international relocation strategies, as the world is changing fast and having a plan B is becoming more important than ever. If you found this video valuable, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, because we break down real immigration pathways, real strategies, and real insights so you can make the right decisions without falling into common traps. And our expert team and associates can assist you to simplify this entire complex process and guide you from start to finish with complete peace of mind. No worries. Do get in touch with us now on our WhatsApp mobile number +64221786007, also provided in the comment section of this video, and we will get in touch with you as soon as possible. Your journey deserves the right start, and it starts with the right consultation. And now you have it. Thank you for watching.